At the end of 2007, the Iraq War was nearing its end, President Bush declared victory, and reconstruction measures were underway. Sergeant Matthews and Scout Sergeant Isaac are sent to a pipeline construction site in the middle of the Iraqi desert. All the Americans working at the construction site have been killed, so it's your job to find the culprits before sending new builders. The soldiers hid behind bushes and stones and watched the place under the melting sun, but 20 hours passed without incident. Matthew grows impatient and begins to wonder if there are any more Iraqi soldiers. Given the bodies scattered around, the site must have been attacked by a team that had completed their mission and left. Isaac pointed out that there was no indication that a large group had moved here, and that all of the workers were shot in the head, suggesting that this may have been done by a legendary professional Iraqi sniper named Juba. But Matthews believes it's impossible to kill so many people in 30 seconds. At some point, Matthews finally got tired of waiting and went downstairs to take a closer look at the place after asking Isaac to take his place. Isaac explains that its scope is becoming more and more unclear, and Matthews teases him for not changing it sooner, but this is important to Isaac because it belonged to his fallen companion once. Matthews then searches from corpse to corpse for clues, and when he confirms that everyone died from accurate headshots, he begins to believe Isaac's theory. As Isaac orders Matthews to back off, Matthews heads to the center of the compound to find out the direction of the gunfire, but suddenly he hears gunshots and Matthews collapses to the ground, enduring severe stomach pains. Desperate to save his friend, Isaac zigzags down to avoid bullets, but is shot in the leg as he tries to reach Matthews. Isaac has no choice but to hide behind a broken wall, leaving Matthews behind. Matthews is in pain, but he is still alive. He contacts Isaac and tells him to call the base for help. But first, Isaac found a wound on his leg pretty bad and put a belt around his wound to stop the bleeding. He then grabbed the radio pouch and attempted to contact the base, only to find that the signal was lost due to a sniper firing into the antenna. Suddenly, Matthews contacts him again, asking him to find the sniper so he can target it. Isaac ignored him while warning that the sniper would spot movement and shoot again. Isaac begins to cut a hole in the wall with a knife to insert his endoscope, but in the process a falling stone injures his hand. Matthews then tries to reach for the rifle, but he faints due to blood loss. Not wanting an ending like his friend, Isaac removes the bullet from his leg with his knife, a very painful task. He then bandaged his wounds before passing out. Some time later, Isaac wakes up hearing strange noises coming from his earphones. It turned out to be a base officer, and Isaac immediately reported the situation and began seeking medical attention. However, a policeman asked him many strange questions, most importantly claiming that it was up to the helicopter to tell him the exact location or drop the supplies with precision. He starts getting suspicious when you ask him either to fire or not. Isaac points out that this is against etiquette and puts him in danger, and as he begins to pay more attention to the man's words, he realizes his accent is not American. This is Juba, a sniper who hacked into radio frequencies and set traps. Isaac doesn't flinch at it, but instead of hanging up, Juba starts asking questions, claiming to know more about Isaac. Isaac tries the radio again, but he still doesn't work. Juba insists on asking a silly question, but when Isaac refuses to answer it, Juba threatens to shoot Matthews again, though she finds it dangerous given the chance that Matthews is still alive. Isaac agrees to chat for a while and asks Juba to go ahead while he begins mapping the position on the ground to calculate the trajectory of the bullet and find the likely location of the sniper. Juba, an ordinary Iraqi who wants to save his country, asks Isaac to tell him about his family, but Isaac says it's too personal. Isaac then teases Juba's reasoning, saying that he is actually killing people who are trying to develop the country by building schools, pipelines, and infrastructure that will revitalize the local economy. This made Juba laugh and he explained that the money he earned here would later be transferred to the United States. As time passes, Juba keeps asking questions, but Isaac doesn't say anything personal about himself and Juba threatens to shoot Matthews again. But Isaac no longer believes his words. To prove he is dangerous, Juba, citing Matthews' previous teasing, tells Isaac the name of the scope's previous owner and that he died. This means that Juba has been listening to their conversation since their arrival. Using a scope, Isaac notices that one of the dead has a radio and drags the corpse to the edge of the wall, but not even a piece of wood can reach him without exposing the body. Isaac then tries to drink water from the bottle, only to find it has a hole in it and is empty. Juba admitted that he did it on purpose. He also admitted that he didn't miss a shot. He aimed bullets at the bottle, the antenna, and Isaac's leg in order to put Isaac in an inescapable situation and cause him to die slowly. He would be happy to hear it on the communicator. Finding a bullet torn from his leg, Isaac observes carefully, asks some sneaky questions, and begins calculating a model of the weapon Juba has. He also calls Juba a terrorist and points out that it is Americans who enter a foreign country illegally with guns ready to kill people, making Juba laugh again. As Juba speaks, Isaac does more calculations, looks into the scope, and finally comes to the conclusion that Juba is hiding under a huge pile of trash. Having lived in this harsh environment for a long time, not to mention the overwhelming heat, this guy is a real pro. However, Juba denies being a famous sniper and he again claims to be an ordinary Iraqi. Judging by his accent, Isaac suspects that Juba must be the former US officer who betrayed them, but Juba denies this as well, stating that he only kills the first person to attack him. Isaac then talks about how he met his best friend as a child and then bonded as an adult. Dehydration and exhaustion soon overwhelm Isaac, who falls to the ground as Juba tells him to stick her tongue into her chest. Isaac then puts on a rifle, a jacket, and a helmet, and swings it at a wall to trick Juba, but Juba doesn't. However, her helmet falls over the wall and Isaac is unable to protect her head. A silly mistake like this would make a sniper cry. As time passes, Isaac becomes desperate and willing to take risks. He ran towards the bodies lying on the ground, stole his bag and radio, and quickly ran back to the wall dodging every bullet Juba threw at him. Isaac found water and snacks in his bag, which he quickly ate, but unfortunately the radio didn't work either. Juba also punishes him by firing into the wall against this risk, severely damaging the scope. Suddenly, Isaac hears a noise through his earphones and realizes it is Matthews, who is still alive. As Isaac yells at the sniper's whereabouts, Matthews quickly pulls out a piece of metal and examines the pile of rubbish. While Matthews moves very slowly to grab his rifle, Isaac distracts the sniper with small talk and learns that Juba used to be a teacher in Baghdad. When his students were killed in an American attack, he decided to take revenge. The wall where Isaac is hiding is the ruins of the school. Juba then asks Isaac, who keeps the damaged scope, but Isaac refuses to answer, so Juba threatens to shoot Matthews again. In a desperate attempt to save him, Isaac confesses that he still feels guilty, having kept the scope as a memory of an old friend who died due to his mistake. Matthews, on the other hand, has a rifle and blindly aims at a pile of garbage. He shoots all the bullets he has, but Isaac does as well, pretending the noise is coming from him. As Matthews attempted to reload his gun, Juba suddenly counterattacked, hitting Matthews in the shoulder. Isaac asks Matthews to crawl over himself and go behind a wall, but unluckily Juba shoots Matthews in the head when Isaac approaches the edge in an attempt to help. Isaac watched him die and finally collapsed and said he wanted to go home. Juba tells Isaac not to shoot him if he really wants to leave, but Isaac is skeptical. Juba then asks Isaac why he is still there when the war is already over. Isaac paused for a moment, then replied that he was there because he was actually the one who killed his old friend. It turns out that Isaac accidentally shot a former sniper buddy while trying to kill his enemy, and lied to everyone that his friend was killed by the bad guys. Suddenly, Isaac hears noise from the radio and runs over to check the signal. He looks forward to the ongoing discussion. However, his happiness does not last long, and although he can hear voices, he is unable to send messages because his radio is damaged. Isaac is shocked, but Juba interrupts an overheard conversation, and the man uses Isaac's name to call for help. Isaac eventually realizes that Juba has been hacking American communications all along, posing as soldiers who need help, luring his support team into the area and easily killing them thanks to the surprise element. Isaac tried to interrupt the conversation in vain. After a while, Isaac wakes up feeling the pain of a crow pecking at his leg. Even the birds think Matthews is already dead, so Isaac decides to take a chance and uses a rope and a stick to retrieve Matthews' gun and point it at the garbage pile. Just then, a helicopter lands in the area, revealing Isaac's location, unaware that it is a trap. Isaac pushes the wall down to save the incoming soldiers. This creates a dust curtain that makes it difficult for Juba to locate Isaac. Isaac doesn't even know if he hit his target, so he starts shooting at the garbage pile. Finally, to make sure of it, Isaac got up from his position and was shocked to see Juba didn't take advantage of this chance and fight back. This leads Isaac to become convinced that he has effectively murdered Juba. A helicopter soon arrives and immediately carries Isaac on a stretcher to receive emergency treatment. Isaac tries to talk about Juba, but he can't hear him over the noise of the helicopter taking off. Suddenly, Juba started firing at them, killing the medics one by one, then hitting the pilot as well. The helicopter soon crashes to the ground, killing Isaac instantly and allowing Juba to keep her promise. Strictly speaking, Isaac was not shot. After that, Juba hacks the front line of the US military again and pretends to be a US soldier to lure the next team of victims. End. Conclusion. In the dramatic conclusion, despite Isaac's determination and courage, the relentless and cunning sniper Juba outmaneuver him, causing devastating losses. Isaac's past guilt and the deadly cat-and-mouse game with Juba come to a heart-wrenching end, leaving a haunting reminder of the cost of war and the lingering shadows of the past.